Hello and welcome to another edition of Pray on This. I'm your host, John Pray, and on this snowy Friday afternoon in southern Ontario, I just want to say welcome. Hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you know whenever I post a new video. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, what is a special rapporteur? That is the question that most Canadians have been asking since late Monday evening, after a press conference that was very unusual from the get-go. First, governments don't schedule press conferences at 6 p.m. on a Monday, unless there's a national emergency or the government has fallen in a non-confidence vote. They also, if they do start that late, usually start on time, not 45 minutes behind the scheduled time. But as I said, this is an unusual press conference put on by a government facing a scandal that has never had anything similar in Canadian history. Now, in this press conference, the Prime Minister set out 8 different points that his government is doing about past election interference, any future attempts. However, when we look close at the policy he has set in place, the standards are so high, and the threshold to tell the public something was wrong in the election so great that, yes, if there was interference from a foreign government and a party did benefit, we would never know anything was wrong until 1, after the election, and 2, only if it affected all 338 ridings. What good is that? When 10 seats can be the difference between winning or losing the national election, or the difference between a majority or a minority government. To be honest, this is another fleet of triaxle dump trucks dropping off another load of bovine fertilizer from the corrupt, pathological liar, narcissist Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. It's all a distraction to try and convince us that 1, he and his government did not benefit from the Communist Party of China in Beijing's interference in at least the last 2, possibly 3 elections. 2, that he was not at the very least complicit with the help from the CCP, or at worst guilty with full knowledge of what was going on and did nothing to stop it. And 3, the typical old liberal, there's nothing to see here, you're safe, our democracy is protected, and we have your backs. Well, I call bullshit. The cherry on the steaming, stinking pile of fertilizer is this, a special rapporteur that he is not appointed yet, but Trudeau himself is going to appoint, whose mandate was not discussed, who has to work in secret. He will only report to Trudeau, and whose recommendations Trudeau says he will put in place. To say that I have absolutely no faith that whoever this dirty as all sin Prime Minister puts in place is an understatement. Just to be clear, this position of special rapporteur has never existed in Canada. It's a made-up title created by the United Nations, and by definition is an individual who works on behalf of a government or international organization to investigate, monitor, and recommend solutions. Their investigations are only reported to the body they work for, and their recommendations are non-binding. In other words, they report to Trudeau and Trudeau alone, and he doesn't have to take their recommendations. Tell me you are investigating yourself by not telling me you're investigating yourself. Tell me you already know the outcome of that investigation before it begins by not telling me you know you've already fixed the deck in your favor. Well, we have a definition now. It's called a special rapporteur. I paid close attention to the Liberal cabinet ministers who accompanied Trudeau at this press conference. They stood in the background and said nothing. However, their faces and body language said it all. Marco Mendicino looked on in amazement as to how great a liar his boss is. Pablo Rodriguez, with his hippie hair forever, looked like he was going to throw up and that he needed to leave as soon as possible. Dominic LeBlanc had the "no one is buying this crap" look on his face, as well as "I can't believe you won't resign" posture. And Melanie Jolie, Well, I really can't tell if that's the look of a woman scorned who is intensely angry at herself that she did something really immoral and stupid with Trudeau, or it was, I'm going to lose this job because of this lying scumbag. If we also take a look at the actions of the past week, the filibuster at the committee in Parliament, the refusal to allow senior staff and the PMO to testify, and then even yesterday when Melanie Jolie was questioned, other very unknown Liberal cabinet ministers who are women coming out and saying, oh, that was misogynistic by the Conservatives. No, it wasn't. That was just asking questions of a minister as to whether or not she could do her job. The cover-up is in, and it's not working. This is today what qualifies as competent democratic government in Canada. Mr. Trudeau, as much as you believe you are a king or an emperor, well, you most certainly are not. If you were, I would compare you to kings and emperors of the past. It would have to be to Henry VI or to Emperor Nero. Much like Henry VI, who was an imbecile, you have others govern on your behalf. You're shocked when the people hate you. And when the incompetence you put in place cannot do the job, you're stunned as things fall apart. Much like Nero. Corruption, scandals, and total uselessness is exposed. You are the same. To attempt to hide them, you put in place more and more circuses to conceal your behavior and distract from your indiscretions. Unlike Henry VI, though, who lost his throne in military combat at Towton, your loss will come at the ballot box. Unlike Nero, you will not take your own life when it's clear to you it's over and the armies of the Senate are coming to get you. Yet in direct comparison, I can say this. Nero was famous for excess, scandal, and political deception. So are you. He is a despised historical figure, as you will be looked at the same by future historians. Henry VI was a cockwobble, the same as you very much are. For you, Justin, have the reliable ability to say outrageous things or do stupid things, all while being convinced of your own incredible intelligence, importance, and greatness. Unfortunately, you're not intelligent, important, or great. Like both of these men, their people couldn't wait for them to be out of power. Canadians, in a recent survey, it was found that over 70% want you gone. Like both Henry VI and Nero, you will be replaced by a younger, more intelligent, more talented, more dignified man. The only difference between you and those men will be that they ended up dead. Henry VI was murdered in the Tower of London, Nero by having his chief of staff stab him to death, as he was too much of a coward to take his own life. I'm not suggesting that Katie Telford or Gerald Butts will help you out in the same manner. No, Justin. Much like your father, you will be relegated to obscurity after your downfall. I do not remember many seeking out your father to speak publicly or give an opinion on current events after he left the job. He just faded away. The truth is exposed, Justin. The more you attempt to hide what you have done, the more you confirm your guilt in the matter. The king is dead. The emperor doesn't have new clothes. He doesn't have any clothes. And Justin, your 15 minutes are up. Whether it be by your resignation from your job or by a loss at the ballot box, it's over, Justin. It's over. In closing, I know that you hate to take advice, but this is mine. Have the dignity to write your own resignation or concession speech and be a man. Deliver it yourself. Don't send a lackey out to do your job. That, as always, is Pray on This. I hope you all have a great weekend. For those traveling, an excellent March break. And I will see you all again tomorrow with my thoughts on Jagmeet Singh and his work at the committee with Galen Wesson. As always, that's Pray on This. Hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications.